mwingine mimi wa kuabudu ila ni wewe Bwana.
My name is Charles and my last name is Nyaga, Nyaga. I am originally from Kenya and I'm 59 years old. I've lived in the United States now for 20 years. I came back in 1996. And I love it here now. I came to the United States first of all, for school. I wanted to do education. I wanted to improve myself, my own career development. And so the opportunities in Kenya at that time were very limited. So I looked for schools in the United States and I moved in 1996 with my family. The American system also offers more freedom than most of the other countries, especially in the third world or growing countries, developing countries. And so I was looking for that opportunity to live in a free society where there's not too much oppression and too much corruption. The rule of law is not, the structures are not very well defined. So the laws tend to stretch depending on who you know, where you are, what tribe you're from, what region of the country you come from, and so on. So in America, it's different because the laws apply equally. At least theoretically, they do apply equally to all persons. And for the most part, in practice, it does the same. And so there's that difference of the application of law. And so the safety part of it is one of the things that made me want to come to the United States. We had a lot of insecurity at that time. And there were tribal animosities between tribes. And so I thought America would be a safe place to come to. When I came to the United States in 1996, I was a student. I was on a student visa. But I also won a green card, lottery green card, the diversity visa lottery in 1997. Unfortunately, my case was not adjudicated in time, within the 1 year period that it's supposed to, through the Department of the State. And so I was put on a deportation proceedings. And I was in deportation proceedings from 2001 to 2007. So that was a very trying moment, just at the time when I was about to be deported. And so that was a turn of events where my family now was allowed to stay in the United States, and we got our green cards and were allowed to stay. So that was quite life-altering on a turn of a dime. And it's been a good place for us, and we are now US citizens, and we just, we feel happy and blessed to be here. My faith has been very, very strong in keeping us together as a family, and myself personally. My father was a Presbyterian minister. I also went to seminary. I'm an ordained minister, and that has kept us grounded. I do it in a way that I would want them to see God in action, not by what I say, but what I do. And so my faith has been at the center of my life. So it was a very, very trying moment because I can remember the anguish I went through, the cloud that hung over my head, knowing that one day, at some point, I could be deported to a country I had left for a period of about, I would say, a good 7 years. Was not easy. But it is hard to see how you'd go through that period of time. It's very trying. But I believe that my faith and my support systems from the family, I think, played a major role. But I also had a great faith in the American system of justice. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I had this belief that at some point things will work out somehow. I didn't know how, but somehow I thought. And so even when we were struggling with my family, working and going to school and doing all the things that we needed to do in life, we still had that confidence that things will work out. And I think that is part of the grounding in our faith that really kept us going for that period of time. I am very human. So quite a few times I would sit and think, why am I even doing this? You know, it's much easier to go back to what I had before, even though that means beginning all over again, because I had I had given up most of what I had, my career in Kenya as a teacher. And so, yeah, I had many times when I felt really like giving up. But I guess, again, through the God's power, I believe, kept saying, no, don't give up. Just hang on there. And you can imagine that's a long wait, because I think we waited for a good 10 years before that happened. And so that's God's power. I cannot say it's me who did that, because I wouldn't do it by myself. But it was, I remember that very well, and it's God's doing. I was a technical teacher. I taught post-secondary school college in Kenya. I taught agricultural mechanics, engineering, and also auto mechanics, as well as in some cases even courses like economics, land economics, civics, and all that, in the absence of teachers, because we had shortages all over the place. And as a teacher, we were taught, one of the things we were taught, even a day is too long. It's too long, it's too far away. We as teachers are supposed to think on our feet, because students will be testing us all the time, and you have to keep thinking, you have to process a lot of things at the same time as you stand. So we think on our feet as teachers, and so you have to be ready, because you never know what's coming, and you cannot stop the class and step back to think about something. So we as teachers, we are trained to process material very quickly and think on our feet. So moving forward, I have registered a small non-profit organization, and the purpose of that is to do more of what I am doing here at the cafe: pastoral care, training, job training, cultural training, and also basic computer skills for those who come from outside of the United States without knowledge or any help with computers, and they need to start from scratch. Open a school there, well, a training facility for training immigrants who come in, and we can sit with them. But that's an entry point. Job search and resume building is an entry point. And the point is for them to talk their stories out so that we can have a conversation, because I think that piece lacks in the community, where when immigrants come, and especially if they are refugees, they have very little, or perhaps nobody really takes the time to listen to their stories, their personal stories, which are who they are. And so for me, that is one thing I would like to do going forward at a much deeper level, so that they also feel wanted and welcome to the United States. There are immigrants, refugees who come and live in the United States for a long time before they hear anybody tell them, welcome to America. And I would love to do that. And for me, I would want to connect with them so that they feel that they are not alone in America. Mm-hmm.
comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone, somewhere will soon make a change. We all a part of God's great big family.